And the state constitution requires a balanced budget. How would you plan on complying with this, and what are you doing to help comply with that now?
Well, what I'm doing is going to fight the current proposal, and that is they're trying to get a budget through now to certify the numbers now because they're going to be worse in May and June. Presenting a balanced budget for a vote requires cuts, not the cuts that the governor buses up to Harrisburg to parade in front of people and scare people and tell them that we're leaving. They have no problem cutting the doctors. They have no problem cutting the EITC program. They had no problem cutting other programs to hurt people who they couldn't bus up. But we have to focus on what those cuts will be. Under a restriction of out-of-state travel, our gaming board, which is your tax dollars, spent $370,000 in Rome. Of course, I brought that to their attention. Currently, our governor is flying out of state at least 3 times a month at $5,000 to $6,000 a shot. We have to lead by example, and we have to, again, while we're rethinking government, we have to rethink our expenses and how we operate and where the cuts need to happen. The only way we're going to balance this budget is with controlled spending and cuts in departments that need it, and obviously welfare, I happen to think, is one of them.
Excellent. What is the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution? What does it signify to you?
The 10th Amendment to me, as a state legislator, says leave us alone and let us operate. I met with the 3 superintendents of the Perkiomen region, which is Springford, Methacton, and Perkiomen. And the 3 superintendents, we're in there talking about state mandates, but more importantly, federal mandates. And these mandates that come down, that put demands, I'm just using school districts as an example, I won't defend them all. But the example of the federal government coming in and telling us what to do with our children and not funding it, coming in and telling us what to do with our industry in terms of environmental issues, environmental concerns, instead of chasing industry out of this country, let the states operate their states the way they see fit. That's what I feel the 10th Amendment stands for as a state legislator.
You believe it's been violated? I didn't like these questions.
Next. Yes. I mean, you know, in fairness, you know, this state government for the last 7 years, 7.5, I'm not quite down to the days, Bob, you probably have the days and hours. You know, we've just been through something that's just unbelievable. We've been through a Hollywood-style promoted government. And I just think as you know, as we look back at how it happened, some of it we brought on, you know, by virtue of our governor's actions. But yes, I think it's been violated. And frankly, I think we'll be more able to sustain our state if we focus again on what our goal and what our role is as government and start focusing again on incentivizing and not crippling. And that is part, I think, of how this has been violated.
You think our tax system is fair and equitable to the taxpaying citizens?
Which one? With the property tax, no. What I found interesting is for the first 2 years, I spent time on and off with Representative Sam Rohr about his property tax elimination program. And let me just say this, it couldn't work. It won't work. It's not going to work. That's all you ever heard. Everyone had a reason that Sam Rohr's tax plan couldn't work. And his tax plan, which I'm sure you've heard at some point, has been expanding a sales tax at its current number, at 6%. Okay? At that time, it also was supposed to involve gaming money. Well, when gaming money leaves your property taxes, come to my grave and see me. But I think that was an opportunity for our tax base, our property taxes, to be eliminated and to be spread evenly. And actually, it would take care of the illegals contributing to our tax base as well, since everyone uses the stores. But Sam's plan was not equitable and couldn't work. That's all they said. But now the governor's proposing that plan, but to put the money elsewhere in this budget. So that's, again, property tax. It's real popular to say you're going to eliminate them. My opponent, in fact, says she's going to increase school spending, school money, school revenue, and she's going to lower taxes. Well, I'm into this whole act of how about we cut spending and we come up with that equitable plan. And I think Sam has a platform. It might not be the final answer, but it's Harrisburg. We have to work towards a fix.
So do you think then gambling and lottery revenues are truly financing senior programs, or is the budget becoming overly dependent on that source of income?
I think that the gambling revenues in Pennsylvania are there. I think the gambling is doing just as well as everyone had anticipated, but the money is going elsewhere. The money's not going to property tax relief. That's not, a political statement. That is a matter of fact. This money has been diverted to hospitals, to projects. Remember, we eliminated WAMs over here. You saw all the press releases. There's no more WAMs. Just look at the gaming bill. Look who voted for it. Look whose controversial vote is there, and then look in their district and the money they're getting for projects. This is another example, as I say to a number of people in my district. Harrisburg, you put a $5 bill on the turnpike at King of Prussia, and by the time it gets to Harrisburg, it's been spent 5 times. That's why we're still paying Johnstown flood tax on alcohol. The money's flowing, and once they know that money's flowing, this governor's turned his back on his commitments to the bully pulpit, saying we're going to have property tax relief from gaming and the senior programs. Again, we can pick on the seniors because they can't defend themselves, and that's exactly what he has done here.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Thank you.